When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. Like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt.
Welcome to LSD Radio. What you are about to hear is intended for listeners 18 years of age or older and is for entertainment purposes only. The Bad Habits Network must insist that no one attempt to recreate or reenact any activity described in this show. This podcast may contain lewd, crude, vulgar, sexist, racist, fascist, argumentative, disgusting, appalling, explicit, edgy, and downright offensive language and or subject matter. For individuals easily offended, this may not be the program for you. We recommend turning this off now.
Are they gone?
I think they're gone. They're gone. Good. Fuck those guys. Let's do this.
All right. Today on Lord Sir Daddy, our topic, as mentioned last week, is bestiality. Fun with animals.
You mean other than just cooking them?
Yes.
And eating them?
Yes.
We're talking about rather than just eating your animals, we're talking about actually eating your animals. That kind?
Right.
Excellent. So, I don't know. What's your experience with bestiality?
I don't have
Have
any
you ever fucked a chicken?
I have not fucked a chicken. I've made plenty of jokes about how you have to wrap small animals in duct tape to make sure they don't explode.
Well, who
we talked
hasn't?
about that. Yep.
Oh, and then there's, the various and sundry creatures up other, stars' asses with tubes.
Right. How you need to pull out all of their claws and their teeth before you shove them in the tube and shove them up your ass. So then they can't.
But doesn't that kind of take all the fun out of it?
No, they still squirm until they die.
Let me interject here. So, you guys heard the joke around this, right?
Which
so
one?
you're referring to, good old Richard Gere jamming a gerbil up his ass, right, and having to go to the hospital to get it extracted?
Yeah,
so
gear plugging up his gears, yes.
Yeah, so why can't hamsters drive? Because they can't get out of gear? Yeah, that's all I got.
And you're spent.
And I'm spent, much like the donkey. Yeah, so bestiality.
Yes.
Taboo subject?
It has
Just a
been
skosh.
taboo. It has been taboo, but a lot of different media sources have definitely played on it. Anyone who has seen Clerks 2 knows the
Donkey show.
The donkey show.
Well, it's not
I
a
love
donkey
my
show.
donkey.
It's interspecies erotica.
Right.
It's not-
Interspecies erotica.
Yes, it's not bestiality. It's interspecies erotica.
However, for
Exactly.
those
I
of
miss
us
my
who
donkey.
have the two-disc special edition, we know that actually, according to the interviews they had on there, and she confirmed it, Rosario Dawson wasn't going to do it until she found out about the donkey show. She wanted to do that movie purely because it had a donkey show in it.
She is Mexican. It's
Yeah.
kind of close to heart.
Is she from Tijuana?
Close to heart, close to ass, one of the two.
Yeah, it's close to one of those organs. Yeah, get in far enough, yeah, it can be close to heart, but then it's kind of lethal.
And of course the Tom Green episode where he decided to go into a supermarket and suck a cow's teat in front of everyone, and jackass guys drinking horse semen.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Do you know that almost got them an NC-17 or X rating?
Really?
Like,
did,
if they
it
would have
did.
actually shown him and not blurred out him consuming animal cum, they would have had to give it an NC-17 rating. Or
Well,
X, or
I don't
whatever
know.
they call it now.
Does it count as bestiality if they're not sexually turned on by it, though?
Yeah, actually. The mere act of engaging in sexual acts with an animal is, by its definition, bestiality. You don't necessarily have to have a bestiality fetish or whatever the zoophilia fetish.
Zoophilia.
Right? But
Zoophiles.
Bestiality doesn't necessarily have anything to do with fetishes. It's purely sexual acts involving animals. I'd have to check the exact textbook definition to see if it would also include thoughts about having sex with animals, similar to necrophilia. But at least bestiality is just the plain and simple act of loving your sheep.
Now,
So,
wait a minute. How does that apply then, in a legal sense, to say collecting bull semen to inseminate cows?
That serves a specific medical purpose and not a sex act.
Oh, okay, so it's just as long as it's a specific medical purpose, it does not count as a sex.
Yeah.
act.
Now, if you're
Yeah.
milking that cow so you can inject it into your wife, that would probably be considered bestiality.
Or if you want like the massive colostrum from it, though, for medical purposes, and you just want to take it right from the source,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
then all of a sudden
You know,
it's not
sucking
bestiality.
on a cow's titty is not necessarily a sex act. It's just getting the milk from the source. Now,
Well,
if
yeah,
you're
but we brought
rubbing
up
your
Tom
cock
Green, so-
while sucking on some cow's titties and smearing the milk all over your mouth, then you might have a fetish.
Giving yourself a facial.
Now, I'm
Yeah.
curious, if I were to serve you a shot of horse semen right now and you were to consume it on air, would we get an NC-17 rating?
No, because you can't
No,
see
because A, they can't prove that we actually did it.
Oh,
And
okay. Well,
B,
to all of our
Simulated.
listeners,
Simulated.
this is a simulated shot of horse semen that I am now going to give Daddy.
This simulation is brought to you by perverts.
oh, it goes down smooth, extra nutty flavored. So yeah.
Yeah. Now that also raises the question that there was a fad going on for a short time where
Fad.
there was supposedly horse semen in exotic drinks. That it was a high-priced, ritzy.
Could you define what you call an exotic drink? Are you referring to like energy drinks, or are you talking about like drinks at a bar?
I'm talking about. I remember hearing about this probably 5-10 years ago. How it was something for the high class to do was to mix drinks with semen of livestock. This, of course, I'm not talking about foie gras or.
So perhaps the
caviar.
reason why all of us have a really dumb look on our face right now, except for you, is because none of us are high class. We're about as low class as it
I
gets.
never said I was high class. I'm not drinking it out that horse's dick.
Well, you're not properly high class until you've
No.
been sucking on some
Well-
semen.
No, he's just high.
But then here's my question then, because like
He has no
women,
class.
they use back guano in a lot of their cosmetics, face creams, things like that, because it's supposed to be good for your face, good for your pores. Would that be like scat play?
Yeah.
Well,
Bestiality scat play.
Bestiality scat play at that.
only
Because-
once again if you know it's got guano in it and it came from an animal and you're jerking yourself off by putting it on your face.
So,
I don't
so,
know what people are doing with it. I'm just saying that.
so
it's in
if you're
there.
rubbing the makeup on your face and your bits are getting fluffy and your makeup has bat guano in it, you are sexually excited from scat bestiality.
But what if I'm just excited in general and like just me touching
You have a
myself? just
leakage
as-
problem?
Yeah, I've got like a leaky pipes.
The pipes.
The pipes leak.
The pipes, they are a leaking, Danny boy.
So I mean,
Well, first of all, you might want to see a doctor about that.
well,
Second of
I'm a
all,
doctor.
you might want to get a role starring in squirting porn. Third of all, yeah, I don't know if you can distinguish that. If you can distinguish that well between just your bits being leaky and getting sexually aroused by putting bat scat on your face, then more power to you.
well, I mean, I'm just saying it could happen.
Yeah, you know the kind of people that say I'm just saying it, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the people who probably did that about 30 minutes ago.
Oh well, that's actually.
Might explain
not
why
me.
your pores are so exfoliated.
That's why I look so young.
Yeah, that's because you're
But-
Asian.
Well, that too, but
You people age all
You
at
haven't
once.
hit
Yeah.
prune age yet.
well, that's probably coming. I think I'm
About 70,
Pretty soon,
75, yeah, you'll
yeah.
suddenly become old.
all of a sudden I become a raisin, and that's
Yeah.
it. Everything dries up.
And you'll stay that way until about 120. And
So how does this apply to fucking sheep?
No. I
Not
don't
at
know.
all.
This
Not
was a
at all.
segue. Sorry.
I don't know, but my pet being from Wyoming, she loves to tell me how okay it is to fuck sheep out there, even though you cannot fuck someone of the same sex.
Yeah.
now, can you fuck a sheep of the same sex?
I don't think the farmers care that much, and sheep themselves are all female. It's the rams.
Oh, yeah, no,
That
you
are
got me there
male.
on a technicality. Well, but is it okay then for a farmer to fuck a ram?
Ooh.
Or is it even safe?
Well,
Only
but
if you like
yeah, I was
to
gonna
get
say,
balls.
well, but if you've got them, backed up, I mean, it does give you a good handle if you're holding onto the horns.
Until they flip around and headbutt you right in the fucking junk.
But if
You know,
you
well,
like
I don't know.
CBT,
That could be sort of like an extreme sport. How long can you hang on to the ram while
Ram
you're ramming
fucking-
him?
Ram ramming.
Ramming. Hold on for dear life.
Free range ram ramming.
8 seconds in orgasm, I win.
Ram rodeo.
Ram ramming rodeo.
And we call this Ramrod. It's a fun game.
oh,
Go Team Ramrod.
go to Ramrod.
So why do you fuck a sheep at the edge of the cliff?
So they push
They
back.
push back.
Exactly.
It's like
They
why
go
do
back up
why
on
do
the stair.
Scotsmen wear kilts? So the sheep can't hear you coming.
Well, they would hear
They
it.
can't hear the zipper.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
I was gonna say,
they
they would
hear
hear you
Raven.
coming.
He
Wait,
jingles.
who am I
Yeah, he
kidding? Yeah,
jingles.
they always hear Raven coming.
In fact, if anything, the kilt just makes it easier for sound to travel.
Baby. Very true. Very true.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
So, bestiality. I mean, in your opinions, it's one of those extreme edge, super taboo areas, even amongst those of us who are the extreme perverts in the group. What's your take on bestiality and or its acceptance or non-acceptance within the kink community? Is bestiality or animal fucking kinky, or is it just sick and twisted and sociopaths do, to get themselves off?
Well, from a standpoint of consent, people will preach up and down that an animal cannot give consent to do things. Now, coming from the female animal standpoint, that is very, very acceptable that it can't give you consent to fuck it. But coming from the male animal standpoint, if there's something bent over and it sticks its nose up in that hoo-ha and goes, hey, this smells
Like
pretty
peanut
good,
butter?
and then mounts it and fucks it, I think that's the animal giving consent.
Oh, well, that seems kind of like one-sided. That's very misogynistic of the animal kingdom. Like, the fucking guy animals can go and get their rocks off, but the girl animals just got to sit there all pouty red-assed and not get nothing.
Oh yeah, because that's so different from humans.
What if they back that ass up?
But no, it depends. Are they on the edge of a clip?
Use a Q-tip on your cat. Stop doing it yourself.
Well, and let the Lord take devil's advocate for a moment, and let's suggest, just for shits and giggles in this case, that the bestiality posed here is of a non-damaging variety.
So I don't fuck the animal to death, is what
Or
you're saying.
to damage. I mean, let's face it, if you're a male fucking another male animal in the rectum, you run the risk of tearing up the rectum, and you can cause
Damn near
serious
kill
harm
him.
to the animal. Yeah, you can wreck them. Damn near kill them. But just for the sake of the argument, let's pose that the argument is A, dealing with animals that would not
Of the
be
appropriate
severely
size.
harmed.
Oh, you mean cows with vaginas you can stick your whole arm in?
There you go.
Bingo.
Those are the only ones that will be able to take you, Raven.
Aha.
And just for
Bovines.
clarification, bestiality is not the same thing as pet play. It is not the same thing as furries.
Good point.
I mean, let's be clear. We're talking about non-human animals here. Those furries and pet play people are totally different.
Human animals, totally different game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a discussion in its own right for another day.
Coming from the pony in the group, I totally want to have a pony breeding scene with a little pony girl. Again, we're both human,
Yeah.
so I'm not saying I actually want to go out and fuck a horse.
He just wants
Just
to
a
bang
girl
a girl
dressed
in
like
leather.
a horse. Yeah.
But I'd be dressed like a horse too, it's only fair.
Well, it doesn't count if you're dressed like the animal. By gosh.
Yep. Huh.
I mean, well, does that play a part? I mean, does it count if you dress as a ram and fuck a sheep just to make them more comfortable?
Are
Is
you
that-
are
yeah,
you
it's
really
kinda
in
like
it
the
for the
wolf in
sheep's comfort?
It's kind of like the wolf in sheep's clothing with,
Well, some of those
Chicken.
bastards like to marry their pets. I mean,
Speaking of pets,
As the
what are
pet
your
is here-
thoughts on animal fucking?
We understand that in Wyoming, where you're from, that they really like to ram them some sheep,
It's true. It's true.
and they don't consider it bad.
No, it's men are men, women are scarce, and sheep are nervous. That's like their state motto or something.
And how does that make you feel as one of the women that made yourself scarce?
Well, her nipples are a little pokey right now, so you're getting turned on.
Could just be cold
this-
No,
outside.
it's just
All
cold
this thought
outside.
of back home.
Well, a little bit back home, but mostly it's cold outside.
Now, and so I posed this question to them. No one had an answer. Maybe you do, because you're actually from Wyoming.
Wait, what's
So-
the question again? I was distracted by sheep.
If the issue is that you're not allowed to screw someone of the same sex, but you can screw an animal, how do they feel about screwing same-sex animal?
Like a ram instead of a sheep.
Yeah, can you fuck a ram? Is it okay?
I would assume.
I feel like the gender doesn't matter once you've crossed the animal threshold.
Well, but how do they feel about it? You know them.
And I don't really
Those
know any.
people?
I don't really know any of them. I just know.
Well, I don't see. I grew up with Garfield and friends, and Garfield explained to us that Wyoming is not a real state. It doesn't really exist. It was just an empty spot on the map, and they wrote Wyoming in there. Although, admittedly, his proof was that you've never met anyone from Wyoming, and we kind of have. So I suppose Garfield's been disproved.
Yep, Garfield's out the window.
He's a cartoon.
Garfield's been defenestrated.
Hey, he's a special cartoon.
Special
So
ed.
I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, if you want to look at it from a legal standpoint, I don't think they draw a line in any of the statutes that are anti-bestiality about whether or not it is a equivalent sex versus non-equivalent sex in the animal versus the person doing the fucking.
Actually, depending on where you go, there are some laws that pertain to specific genders of specific animals and of the human doing so.
Really?
I believe, I would have to look it up for a fact checker, but I heard that in a certain state...
Which state? Which state?
I thought it was Washington.
Nah.
I thought it was Washington. That it's okay for a man to fuck a horse, but not a woman to be fucked by a horse.
Interesting. Huh.
Well, I don't know. Is that a bestiality issue
It's
or a
purely
sexuality
it's
issue?
purely a safety issue.
I think it's
actually.
a safety issue.
Yeah.
Their
No
cocks are like,
man in the history of mankind has ever accidentally torn a horse asunder with his penis. On the other
That
hand,
we know of. That we know
on the
of.
other hand,
It's true. Horse cocks are like 15 feet long or something.
there's plenty of evidence about people getting torn asunder by
They're really
horse
not
cock.
I was going
Male
to say, I
and
think
female.
15 feet might be pushing it just a skoshi-wosh.
There's a little exaggeration.
Well, horses
Well,
are measured in
hyperbole.
hands. How many hands can you fit on a horse cock?
A lot.
I've
more
never
than-
handled one, you know?
More than we have in this room.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We should test that theory.
And we're pretty damn handy around here.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I have access to a horse. If you want to test that theory, let me know.
Yes.
And it is male.
Yes.
Woo! Let's go with not potentially violating the laws of Wisconsin just
Yeah.
to determine exactly how long a horse's penis is for
It's
an
for
internet
science,
It's for
not for
science.
sex.
It is for science.
What you
Stand
do
back. I'm going to try science.
What you do after we leave doing our science experiment is totally between you and the horse.
Yeah, no.
And the officer
Guess what's
that
not
shows
going to
up
happen?
when they
Yeah,
hear
I was
about
gonna say.
this.
If I ride that horse, I will be on top on a saddle, not underneath.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
The things I could show you.
Oh, jeez.
Of course, you're German.
We don't
So-
usually fuck a lot of horses, though. Anyways.
So the act of fucking a dead animal, it has been battled in court that it being a dead animal therefore makes it a inanimate object. So
In this
it
very
no
state.
it no longer becomes bestiality. It is then masturbation with a dead animal.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
if I were to go grab the fur muff that I have and like have sex with it, it's sex with an inanimate object.
Yes,
it just
it
so
is.
happens to be made out of animal parts.
Yep. Which is why you can get, I have seen for sale, masturbation sleeves made out of animal skin.
And
Rabbit fur skin and all that stuff.
Sell really well in Wyoming, I understand. But yeah.
No,
no,
it's
those are the
sheepskin.
sheepskin. Speaking of which, sheep intestine condoms.
Yeah.
I tried them, hate them.
Yeah.
The personal opinion, don't like them. If that's how a sheep's intestine feels,
You don't want to fuck with
I
them.
kind of don't want to fuck a sheep.
Well, the question is they feel substantially different when you...
When there's no muscles
Yeah.
clenching around
when
it.
it's not alive and has been dead for a while
Well, the other
versus
thing,
when it's
too.
nice and warm and
Yeah.
slick.
And they kind of sort of wash it out before you put it on your penis.
Yeah.
I presume they
Think
treat
about
it in some way.
At least seal one
I'm sure-
end.
I would assume that it's different.
Well, sealing one end, plus, I presume they do something to keep it from decomposing. So,
Probably.
I mean,
Some sort of preservatives.
Yep.
So
So all these things may contribute to the fact that your sheep intestine condom didn't exactly feel like you wanted it to
what
feel.
we're trying to say is if you want to bang a sheep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be different then.
I'd have to move to Wyoming, and they'd all know that I was from Wisconsin with my accent, so I wouldn't fit in. And the first time I ask about sheep fucking, they'd probably want to shove my head in the fen.
Can't the pet sneak in? She knows where they all are. She knows where everyone is.
All the good things. But then if it's considered masturbation with an inanimate object, if the animal is dead, how come that's not the same with a human? Because technically the animal was alive.
Because we have laws against desecration of corpses.
Correct.
And we're really
when-
picky about human corpses. Like for
Compared
instance,
to-
we'll
Yep.
kill and eat cows.
Mm-hmm.
We don't kill and eat people.
Well-
legally.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah, I was
said.
going to say.
If
it depends.
someone gets hit by a car, a guy with a shovel doesn't come along, scoop it up, and throw it in the back of a pickup truck.
Well, depending on
Depends
where in the
upon where
country
you
you are.
Okay, in this state,
Most of the time.
away from our northern border.
I'm just saying, this Wisconsin, we got some creepy people who have lived here.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, way.
I was going to say, if the individual that hit them is the one that gets out with the shovel and scoops them into the back of their pickup truck, maybe. But I'm talking about city workers, county workers, state-paid employees that clean up roadkill. If a person is laying dead on the highway, one of them doesn't come along. A coroner does. So we treat our dead differently than we treat animal dead.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't PETA say that the animals should be treated exactly the same as
Yeah,
humans?
but PETA's not writing our laws, so fuck them in the mouth.
Yeah, and
I'm glad PETA's not writing our laws. I wouldn't be able to eat half of, probably 90% of the food I eat.
You'd still eat it.
Yeah,
And not to mention, we know that like PETA is one of the most hypocritical organizations out there. You're like, no, you cannot kill anything ever. We euthanize a shit ton of animals every year, but we're okay because we're PETA, so we say it's fine.
Mm-hmm. We call it mercy killing.
Mercy killing.
And we'll support all the different groups like ALF that want to go out and firebomb labs. But by the way, our vice president is a type 2 diabetic and uses insulin, but we don't talk about that much.
Oh yeah,
because we're not hypocritical at all. No, yes you are. And besides, I'm pretty sure PETA would not approve of this entire conversation.
Probably
even
not.
in a hypothetical like we're doing.
They might approve if we can somehow guarantee that the animal gets off.
Yeah, no.
Then I would suggest fucking pigs because they are scientifically proven to orgasm more often than any other animal.
Yeah. Well, that just makes them easy.
Yeah. It just makes them sluts.
Well, what if you were fucking a dolphin? Supposedly the only other intelligent life form on this planet that derives
sex for pleasure?
satisfaction from sexual pleasure.
It's not just that they derive satisfaction from sex, or that they derive sexual pleasure from the act of having sex. It's the fact that they are one of the few species that will have sex just for pleasure and not necessarily for breeding.
Recreation, not procreation.
Exactly.
Well, and the other thing too is, dolphins, given the right
They're also
chance,
fucking pricks.
Well, yeah, they're pricks.
They're
will.
fucking rapey as
Yeah,
hell.
they'll take you to the bottom of that tank, and they'll have their way with you.
Daddy, you're rapey like a dolphin.
Dude, you wouldn't believe it. There are documented cases where dolphins, not porpoises, big distinction. Dolphins, and we're talking the, not the fish type of dolphin, not the mahi-mahi, but we're talking legitimate fucking dolphins, like Flipper. Or he was a porpoise, wasn't he? Anyways, dolphin have literally been documented raping humans, and in some cases have actually killed divers because they raped them to death while they were, effectively causing them to drown.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then is it illegal for me to rape a dolphin?
I don't know.
Fair is fair, right?
Yeah.
It's a dolphin didn't go to jail for it.
It's not illegal so long as it's defensive rape.
Oh, so if
if
the
they try to
dolphin's
rape
trying to
you
rape
first-
me and I rape them back.
There you go.
Then you can rape them back.
Well,
then it's
but
legit.
But people who would go and swim with the dolphins would grab them, drag them down.
You know what's
rape them.
worse?
What?
Not only that, but they also fucking hunt in packs.
Yes.
Rape packs. It's like a bunch of fucking frat boys in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Dolphin gang rape.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm still stuck in the rape pack.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Here's your options. Would you like the rape pack or the
Or the solo rape
or the
dolphin.
solo rape dolphin?
Even more fun if the rape pack dolphins can't find another animal and or another dolphin or human to rape, they'll turn on one of their own. So if there's no fresh pussy floating out in the water sometime, guess who gets to draw the short straw to get raped by the rape pack?
So it's like a British all boys school. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, it is for all intents and purposes a fucking frat club.
Dolphin frat club, guaranteed rape.
Way to be the
Either
smallest
you get to
dolphin.
be the rapey or the raper.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
someday it could be good for you, and you could be the person doing the rape. The other days,
Except 9 times out of 10 you die.
yeah.
Details.
Hey, at least look at it this way. Raping a male of the species, airtight only means 2 instead of 3. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, but when it gets in your blowhole, it gets in your blowhole.
Oh, that's like fucking a stoma.
As if you wouldn't.
I need to take a moment.
Oh, you're thinking about fucking a colostomy hole now, aren't you?
No, stoma. I've always wanted to put my dick in someone's throat hole.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, but you're German. Why not the colostomy hole?
Because I like the butthole.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna stick it
Colostomy
in,
hole takes the whole anus out of the entire equation. Then I'm just fucking effectively their intestine hole, and whatever. That's
Well, I mean,
too
it's gotta be-
biological
Just
for me.
pretend they're a sheep and go for it.
yeah. They're just a little squishy.
As long as they're wearing, a sheep suit.
Except for I don't know if it would be as tight. I mean, I think part of the
They don't
reason
have a
why-
sphincter.
Well,
Yeah,
the
there's
nice
no
thing
sphincter in
about
there
stoma
for the-
holes and whatnot, and medically induced holes like that, tracheotomies and whatnot, they have variable size inserts.
yes, they
So
do.
you can ratchet it down as tight as you want or as loose as you want.
But no, I'm talking about colostomy holes.
Yeah, same difference.
Same difference, really?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
There you go.
shocking. I would not have known.
It's like a
And-
Kegels option.
And I would think that, though, if you were gonna fuck a stoma and or a colostomy hole, I mean, I would much prefer a mouth and or an anus, just because there's that variable of you can squeeze it.
It tenses.
You can tense it up. Whereas with the stoma and the colostomy, you get what you get.
If you're into loose people, then I guess that's your bag, but
Yes, and
not mine.
Well, that's. I personally don't have anything to stick into a stoma hole or a.
You have fingers.
Well, yeah, that's true. But then
You have
that
a
really.
nose.
But this.
You could scissor it.
It's scissor it.
Scissor the stoma hole,
Scissor
yep.
the stoma hole. Here, I'll squat over your.
Oh man,
There's
where was
like-
this? Where was this topic last week when we were talking about shit play? Look at
I don't
Twinkie
know.
come lately over here.
Well,
Twinkie come lately.
I wasn't here.
Which usually isn't the case. Usually
Oh.
Twinkie comes quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say my response is no. Twinkie usually comes repeatedly.
Well, I like to get more bang out of my buck.
But again, how does this relate to bestiality?
Because I'm the buck.
You're diverging again.
I'm sorry. I'm distracting. I'm distracted.
Stay on target.
Well, then you have all kinds of things going on in the animal kingdom, like ducks. They lose their penis every year and grow back a new one.
Depending on how much competition they have.
Depending on how much competition they have, it is bigger or smaller.
They're also extremely rapey.
Yep.
Yeah, very. And they have corkscrew vaginas to try
Oh.
to stop the rape.
With
With-
trapdoors.
With
Yeah, with
trapdoors.
multiple dead ends.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love the internet.
Who doesn't want trapdoor vagina? If I end up fucking a dead end and there's no pregnancy, woohoo!
Yeah.
Why the hell do you
But
think I
here's-
like butt sex so
But
much?
here's the thing, though.
Because you're a man whore?
Yeah, there's
That's
the dead ends, but the dead ends doesn't it usually pull their penis off?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Because I
No,
thought
it
that
falls
just
off
goes-
at the end of the season.
Oh.
No,
Okay,
it just
okay.
goes nowhere.
It just is a dead end receptacle for all their duck cum.
Gotcha.
Or duck butter, as we like to
Gotcha.
call it.
Well, I
Duck
mean,
butter.
I guess that's
Duck butter.
Yep.
Let's all say duck butter.
duck butter.
Duck butter.
Duck butter.
On the duck butter note, we are leaving for a commercial. We will be back in just a minute. Whack, whack.
If you're in southern Wisconsin or northern Illinois, or you just feel like traveling to meet fun-loving kinksters, check out the Janesville Area Dirty Little Freaks. The Janesville Area Dirty Little Freaks, or JADL for short, is a monthly munch, play party, group focusing on community and education. There is no cost to be part of the group, and we welcome new people. Check us out on FetLife in the Janesville Area Dirty Little Freaks group. You can get more details and learn all our rules. We look forward to hearing from you. Must be 18 or over to join FetLife or JADL. Munch is held at a restaurant. JADL does not provide the food there. If you've previously been banned, it's for a good reason, so you're still banned. The promoters and operators of JADL reserve the right to ban anyone. Check out the group rules and descriptions for more details. If you're not actually listening to this part, I don't blame you. No douchebags. Hello, this is the Lord for the Lord's Asylum, right here on the Bad Habits Network. The Lord's Asylum is a kink-based podcast featuring stories, comedy sketches, and interviews from the kink lifestyle, brought to you by the Lord from Lord, Sir, and Daddy Radio. The intention is to educate through entertainment, so join me, my friends, and my alter egos, and get committed to the Lord's Asylum on the Bad Habits Network. I say, Reginald.
Yes, what is it, Percy?
Will we be partaking of some libation once we venture homeward?
Indeed we shall, Percy, indeed we shall.
Well, what's on offer, then?
I've recently procured charred oak from Yahara Bay.
I say, isn't that the spirits that Samuel speaks so highly of at the club?
Hence the acquisition. I propose we sample this election until we lose motor function in our lower extremities.
Why, that's a capital idea.
Charred oak from Yahara Bay. For God's sake, drink responsibly. Use a glass.
Hi, everybody. This is Atticus here. Now, I know every time you hear my cute little voice, you just expect me to start going off about something or another that's climbed up my ass. Well, not this time, girls. I want to talk about assholes in general.
You know who my favorite assholes are? The crew from Shots from the Balcony. Oh, they're just fantastic. It's a show starring assholes. Talking about asshole things because they're assholes. And whenever you get that many assholes together in one room, oh, girlfriend, the heart quickens just thinking about it. Oof, I swear. So if you're not listening to Shots from the Balcony right here on the Bad Habits Network, oh my god, the next thing that crawls up my ass is going to be my anger at you. I'm not kidding here. I'm super, super serious that you just need to check these people out. They are so fierce. And any man that puts a cigar in his mouth, you know that's just an invitation to me, girls. And it's just an added bonus that they're almost always drinking. You know, so many guys out there, they're really just bisexuals, just add alcohol. So next time you want to think about a bunch of manly men doing manly things, talking about all their manliness, a show that just is completely inundated with assholes, you gotta check out my favorite show. That's right, Shots from the Balcony. I've got some shots to give them.
And we're back! We were just talking about duck butter, but I would like to break topic for just a moment and go on to some current events.
Which aren't duck buttery.
Not duck butter, not duck butter. Does involve...
One's buttery.
Oh, yeah, it does involve butter in some way.
It does involve groceries, but not duck butter. Have you ever wondered how elastic your vagina might be? Well, this one woman decided to go into Walmart and test just how elastic her vagina was, stuffing $100 worth of groceries up into herself.
So, Raven, how much exactly would be $100 worth of groceries?
Like, what were the objects?
Well,
What were
she
the
had, like,
objects?
eggs.
Quantify.
Eggs and
Is your name
bacon.
Raven?
According to the article, she had a dozen eggs, bread, milk, a few oranges, as well as a full porterhouse and a rack of bacon. And then some, according to the police report. Oddly enough...
Did you hear that they actually cleaned off the items and put them back on the shelf?
Of course it was Walmart. Just wipe that vagina juice off and sell it again.
All things considered, that may not have been the first time that those objects were up someone's hole.
Quite
and then
possibly.
put back on the shelf.
Well, the eggs, for instance, you know.
Well, they were in someone's hole at some point.
Yeah.
The writer of the article does believe that they should have been remarketed as placenta oranges or pre-soaked French toast.
Oh, God.
How do you get the loaf of bread up there without squishing it? I mean...
She's into recreational fisting, I guess.
She got a porterhouse and a rack of bacon in
That's
there.
That's true. But
And
still...
I'm wondering if the dozen eggs went in as a carton.
I know, or they went individually.
Or one by one, just... Boop,
I just want, were those pre-boiled eggs or something? Because, I don't know.
Don't you think the shells would
Kegel's
crack?
just enough to close the end, but not enough to crush what's inside.
That's gotta be...
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well,
I just want to be the one that was, like, watching her, like, aha, I caught you, shoving things in your vagina.
Well,
now I'm hungry.
They saw her shoving things up under her skirt, and when the officer came by, a couple of oranges fell out from under her skirt. And on initial pat down, nothing was found, so they called in a female officer, of course, because everywhere in this goddamn country says police officers can't check anyone of the opposite gender due to rights and this and that. I don't fucking care. If you're shoving $100 worth of something into your body, any officer of the law should be able to go, what the fuck is this hanging out of you?
How come you
Well,
have
but
a
that's the thing,
poorhouse
nothing was hanging out.
No, oranges were just dropping on the floor.
Which could have been, like, in her underwear or stuffed up into the skirt itself. But when it's, like, when you go in, like, internal searches... I can kind of understand. Let's face it, it's not like police officers don't have a bit of a habit of, you know,
raping people,
individuals' rights.
Hey, dentists are known for raping people too.
Yeah. I wouldn't let dentists stick their hands in my orifices either.
But you do.
That's their job.
Well, maybe my mouth hole.
That's an orifice.
I don't jam porterhouses in. Wait, no, I didn't.
And eggs and oranges and everything else.
Well, but here's the thing. Too bad you weren't around because you wanted to do that experiment of shoving an egg in somebody and then seeing if you could beat it till it broke.
Right.
Here was your perfect opportunity.
I know she had a whole dozen eggs
A
in there.
whole dozen.
I want to punch her in the ass until they explode and she starts dripping egg goo everywhere.
I just want to know, did someone reach up in her, or did they just tickle her to see what happened?
Only if they wanted it all to be basted.
Yeah.
Crack.
What? They didn't know what was in her. Maybe they're just like, did you just... Well, here, let's find out. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Oh, look, there's an entire breakfast buffet.
Well, then it makes me wonder, how did they get it all out? I mean, if you can fit that much in there, did they just like put on one of those cattle breeding gloves all the way up to the shoulder and just go fishing?
Well, you have to assume that it was easy for her to get it in there, so it has to be just as easy to get it out. Or else how would she have gotten it out when she got home?
Yeah, especially that carton of eggs.
Yeah.
Well, pushing it
And
out.
was this the first time she'd ever done it? Or was this how she went grocery shopping on a regular basis?
I don't think she would admit to doing this on the regular basis, but if this...
Oh, yeah, would you?
If this is how she was doing...
I do have one question.
What's that?
Only one?
If she'd actually made it out of the store and gotten away, would she be on the lamb?
I'm a lamb. The lamb would be in it.
And this is how we bring necrobestiality into this subject.
Exactly. She's shoving a porterhouse and eggs. And
Well-
what was it?
Bacon.
Were the
Bacon.
eggs in
Bacon.
first?
I
mean-
what order did you put that in?
I know.
Like, do you go with like the heavy
Oranges
stuff
were
up top?
obviously last
Yeah,
because they were the ones
obviously.
falling.
Well,
Yeah.
those are the capper.
Yeah.
Well,
that's to hold
how
it all
long does
in.
it take her to sit down and figure this out in a shopping list? Like, no, wait, not that. I have to get this in first, and then, okay, then I can do that.
Well,
And milk. How
Yeah.
much milk was it? Was it like a half gallon?
I bet it was one of those
Yeah.
milk bags.
Yeah.
And all things considered, it's just kind of like playing Pussy Jenga.
Pussy
Yeah, I was gonna
Excuse
say-
me,
well,
Pussy
this-
Tetris. Pussy Tetris.
Yeah, you got to get it all to fit
Yeah.
right. But I guess it's just like when you bag your groceries.
Eggs
You know,
always
or
go on
just-
top.
Yeah, eggs always go on top. So how?
Wait, what do you mean by bag?
Well, when you
Oh,
when
an
you get your
actual
groceries-
bag.
like
I
when
thought you
actually
meant
get
like
your groceries
scrotum
bagged
bag
at
your
the,
groceries.
no, when you actually have your
Only Raven
groceries
can do that.
bagged at the store, people always complain. Oh well, do you know what this bagger did? He did not put my eggs.
Hard things at the bottom,
Like,
soft
I got a
things up top.
challenge for you.
What's that?
Uh-oh.
Bagging your groceries.
Yeah.
I want to know if you can go into a grocery store and take some oranges and pull your scrotum
Oh,
up and over
yeah.
it and see if it'll actually fit all the way.
Do we have
How
an
many?
orange here?
Yeah.
Two? Because then you can.
Do we
then
have-
you have plausible deniability to say, no, sir, those are actually my nuts.
What size oranges? Are we talking about cuties, the little clementines?
No,
or are we talking
no,
about big ass?
No one would believe that.
We're
cutie
talking about
clementines
fucking
are your balls.
Valencias. We
No.
want Valencias.
Yeah.
Valencia
Yes.
orange.
You're looking
Oh,
at it and
no.
having to get grapefruits.
I was gonna say grapefruits,
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Ruby Red Rocket.
but
Red
two
Rocket,
Valencia
Red Rocket, Red Rocket.
oranges in my ball bag. Could I
we're
do
gonna
it?
we're gonna have to be able to like bring some oranges next time. I think
Yeah.
for science.
yeah.
I'm willing to
For
try it.
science.
I'll wear a kilt.
For,
Yeah, it'll
for a
happen.
simulated science act.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
And
we're
then
not
your pet
sticking
can eat
anything
them.
in them, so we're good. We're
Well,
good.
None of us are going to fuck
I'm
her.
thinking about
No.
eating
No.
these things afterwards. So far, everything on the list, yeah, you technically wouldn't expose your vagina to any of these things because the eggs you crack open the
Yeah,
shell and
yeah.
knock it out. The
But-
oranges you peel the rind off.
But here's the
the
thought, though.
porterhouse.
But the point
Probably
is,
in plastic wrap.
Well, but here's my thought though. With oranges, a lot of people they get really anal retentive about it, and they actually wash the outside
As opposed to
of the
vaginally
orange.
retentive.
But the thing is I don't wash my oranges off before I peel them. And sticking my fingers in there and peeling it off is exposing what's on the outside to the
Yeah.
inside.
Stick your fingers in there.
So your oranges.
So what do you
Well,
saying?
she was already sticking her fingers in her vagina,
Well,
so as
yeah,
long
no,
as
but I
she's
mean,
eating
like,
the
if
oranges,
she's
I'm sure
ordering
it's
the
fine.
Oranges, but since they put them back on the shelf,
I think that's speculation. I don't think they would have actually put them on the shelf.
Well, while we're on
it
speculation,
says-
It says they washed them and put them back on the
Yeah,
shelf.
I call bullshit.
in
It's
speculation,
Walmart. I don't call
I have to
bullshit.
ask, like, does this woman have children, and does she feed these things to her children?
oh, here have some of my.
Maybe. Well, they've already
sausages.
been there once, so who cares?
Yeah,
Right.
but they haven't been.
You were
like back
swimming in there.
It's totally different. Totally different.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe she was pregnant and just trying to feed the kid.
Yeah. How old was she? Maybe she was just dumb.
Well, she was dumb one way or another.
What state did this happen in?
Pennsylvania.
No, not south enough for it to be legitimate.
No.
You know, I was trying to feed my kids through my vagina.
Well, here's a question then too. So, with
You
all
never
these
know.
groceries in her vagina, would that make it more appealing for somebody to go down on her and eat her lady bits, or?
It depends on what was at the what was at that very end. If the bacon was last in there, I would totally be all
You'd
about
be like,
it.
You'd be all about the raw bacon.
But the
pussy.
oranges, I get enough citrus. I'm not gonna get scurvy.
I'm not really worried about that. But I mean, is this an incentive for girls to go out and like, I don't know, say cook up some bacon, throw it in their vagina, being like, hey, you don't really want to go down on me, you don't really like it, bacon.
Oh,
Totally.
bacon cunnilingus.
Yeah.
I'm kind of game.
Bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really any sugar content in that per se. There's
No,
whiskey yeast
it'd be a little bit of greasy.
Yeah, it would be a little greasy, but
Lube.
yeah.
The German and the Jew are in agreement. It is lube.
And it's weird that the Jew
The German
would be
and the Jew are in agreement about bacon.
Well, about bacon.
Ain't that Jewish?
I see you finally coming around to my face.
Fuck it, bacon is delicious. But your uniforms are so tight, I cannot walk.
It's because we eat sausage bacons.
And have no penises.
So on the bestiality aspect of it, does that mean using such things as bacon grease as lubricant, minor bestiality? I know when we talked about necrophilia, having sex in a cemetery due to the fact that you are close to the dead is technically part of necrophilia.
If you're deriving sexual arousal from it.
Yes,
so if
from
I am
that
deriving sexual arousal from consuming bacon and using said bacon grease as lubricant while I rub one out, does that mean I am committing a
But
form
is
of
it-
bestiality?
I would counter that since you are using a animal byproduct, that it is not.
Unless it turns you on
Yeah,
because
I was gonna say.
it's an animal, not because it's a food source.
Well, then he's a
Foodies are an
zoophiliac.
entirely different kink.
Then he's a zoophiliac. He's not
Yeah.
necessarily a committing bestiality.
But I mean, is it the aspect of, oh my gosh, this is bacon grease, that's getting me hot, or is it?
Well, is the bacon
it-
grease hot? Because
Well-
that'll get me hot.
Oh my God. That would
no, but,
burn
like,
you. That would burn
is
you.
it just, a matter of, well, I need a lube, I don't have any right now, I'm out of lotion. Look, bacon grease, that will work. Or is it, ooh, bacon grease, bacon is delicious, pet will enjoy this flavor later? Or is it, oh, God, yeah, this is as close as I can get to banging a pig?
Yep. Those are all important details.
I mean, like, what is the motivation?
It all comes down
It's
to
like the
motive.
actor's studio. What's your motivation?
Well, my motivation is to get off.
Well, yeah, but what is getting you off about that situation?
I like bacon. I love bacon that unnaturally much.
Because you like the flavor of bacon.
Yeah, the flavor
and the
of
taste
bacon.
of bacon and the juiciness of bacon.
And I like the fact that the pigs scream like humans when we slaughter them.
Now, is that
So what are you trying to hear from us? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Raven, you're a zoophiliac.
No,
For the
no,
record.
I'm just asking your take on things.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch, personally. Well, first and foremost, it's an animal byproduct, not an animal itself, an intact animal, or at least a substantial piece of an animal. Second of all, I don't think you actually derive significant sexual pleasure from the thought of it actually being a pig product that you're fucking. Maybe. I don't know. It's always possible.
I haven't actually masturbated with
Yeah.
bacon
see,
fat.
now you're
I'm
gonna
just
have to.
posing the question.
It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, now you're going to have to and let us know.
Much like how, when somebody mentions some twisted, fucked up thing, and they don't think it's ever been on the internet before, the moment they mention it, it now exists on the internet.
Rule 34.
Rule 34. In your case, the moment that we start talking about some twisted, sexual, fucked up act, that would be really cool if Raven did, but hasn't done yet, Rule 37 is Raven's probably going to do it next week.
Yeah.
Actually, I ran out of bacon. It's on the grocery list. But I do have a jar full of
You have a
bacon
jar
grease.
full of bacon grease.
Yes, yes. You don't need the bacon for this
You have a
experiment.
stockpile.
You just need the grease.
Well, the
Right.
bacon is an extra perk to it. I mean,
And we can discuss this on the next show. Like, all right, now that we've had that show and we've discussed it, now you've done it. How is it?
I will also extend one other thought about this.
What's that?
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
Since technically the bacon grease and the bacon itself are actually, for all intents and purposes, food products, you may just have a thing for splashing.
Splashing.
Yeah.
So, if I want to cook a big ass honey glazed ham, and fuck it, knowing that I can't get in trouble with the law for fucking a pig because I'm fucking a honey glazed ham, and I just so happen to glaze it myself.
Thank you for making that joke, because otherwise I was going to have to. Before you even go that far, I've already been told,
To fucking ham?
been noted about this. please explain to our audience what sploshing is.
Oh, sploshing. Sploshing is generally sex acts involving food. So, for the people that... and generally we're not talking about, hey, me and my lover last night, I put a little bit of whipped cream on her nipples and licked them off and then we fucked. To a certain extent, yes, that could be considered, sploshing. But generally...
You want a banana up inside you.
People who engage in sploshing like to get fucking messy.
Yeah.
Human
Like
sundaes, coat
pudding,
me down
yeah.
in jelly. Let's go bathe in a huge puddle of of pudding in a kiddie pool.
Let's all
Those are
masturbate with
generally
pancakes.
sploshing. Exactly.
Yes.
People who engage in sex acts with food products for the sake that they are food products. That's what sploshing is.
So anyway,
back to your ham fucking.
Yeah, you were
Back to my ham.
You were glazing a ham.
I'm glazing a ham, knowing that I can't get in trouble with the law for fucking my own lunch meat. But I imagine that said ham is still a pig. Is the imagining that the ham is a live pig, therefore crossing the bestiality threshold, or is that still sexual gratification through food?
So, first of all,
and vegan splashing, that brings up vegan splashing. If you love splashing but you're a vegan, what do? Do you
Hummus.
rub oats on your
splashing doesn't
yourself?
necessarily
Hummus.
have to involve meat. It can involve a lot of other byproducts.
Yes,
Have
but
you-
if you're vegan, that means nothing animal
telling you.
based.
Depends
Nothing
on
with
the
a
level.
face.
Depends on the
Yeah.
level of vegan you are.
But I'm saying hummus.
Oh yeah,
Hummus is completely
hummus is
vegan.
great to be.
Yeah.
You
be
can
it
fuck
too.
hummus.
Just avoid the really heavy, like oily,
Yeah.
garlicky hummus because
That would hurt.
that burns.
But either way, you can still splosh with non-meat products.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
But back to his ham fucking point, which is important.
Because damn it, we're
fucking-
trying to glaze that ham, not
Yeah, so back
fuck
to
a
it.
watermelon
So
here.
Here's my counterclaim or my counter question for you. If you were not thinking about fucking that ham as a extension of a pig, and you just took that ham, cored a hole on it, and fucked it, and basically used it as a masturbation device, could you get yourself off?
If the ham was warm out of the oven,
Yeah.
more than likely.
Yeah. So you don't need to recognize that that is a animal piece for you to get off with it.
Oh no, it's warm and wet. It's
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah. So I would counter that since you could get off with it without rationalizing that it is a animal that you're fucking, that I don't think you're a zoophiliac, nor are you conducting bestiality.
But while he could, in his suggestion, he's saying that what if it turned him on to think of it as being a live pig? If he was simulating a live pig, it would still be bestiality.
No, it wouldn't be bestiality because that's a dead object.
But it still falls into the category of because
it would be zoophilia.
In his head, he's still doing the whole "I'm banging a pig."
Squeal like a pig.
That is zoophilia. We're talking about physical acts, bestiality, versus psychological states, zoophilia. Significant difference. So, it's not bestiality because what you were fucking is no longer an animal. It's just a dead animal byproduct. At worst case, it's necrophilia. Okay. Second of all, second of all, yes, if you are deriving some sort of heightened sexual pleasure over what you would normally get by fucking that warm ham, because it is the artist formerly known as Porky, in that particular case, yes, you may be a zoophiliac.
Okay, so then that poses my next question. If you're fucking a live animal, you are performing bestiality. If you're fucking a dead animal, knowing that it's an animal, you're a zoophiliac. So if you're fucking a live animal and it dies before you finish, and you finish with it dead, are you committing bestiality and
you're committing the whole gamut of sick, twisted, fucked up sex acts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
Up until the point when, we like to call that transitional sex.
Transitional sex.
Yeah.
Bestiality to zoophilia.
When it starts with one thing and transitions into another, transitional sex. So, yes. So if you are engaging in bestiality by fucking a live animal, and it's getting you off because it's an animal, and therefore you are a zoophiliac, and then say you were to go and, shoot the animal in the back of the head so it dies, and you continue to fuck the animal, engaging in bestiality. No longer engaging in bestiality. You have now transitioned into animal necrophilia. If you're still getting off on that because it is the artist formerly known as an animal, you're still a zoophiliac. However, if you're also gaining additional sexual pleasure out of it because now it's dead, you're also a necrophiliac.
But technically, you could also lead into scat play too, because a lot of times when an animal dies,
Yeah, you know how long it takes for that to happen?
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so usually...
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, usually well, actually, that depends. No, so the bowels may release actually pretty quickly. It's the reverse where things clamp up from rigor mortis. That usually takes several hours to actually kick in. So yeah, it might just shit on your dick right away.
Yeah.
So it would also be scat play.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm fucking in the butthole, it's not going to have anywhere to go. I'm fucking
It's only scat play. If you pull your dick out after it's pooped on your dick, you slap the animal across the chin a few times and put it back in.
Oh.
I'm glad
you
you're
have to be
here
playing with the scat. It can't just be a byproduct.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, as the master of ass, you should
I was
know
going
this
to say.
thing.
Yeah, ass master.
I always just thought that anal sex shit happens.
It
does happen. Oh. That's one of my...
It's when you pull your dick out, you stick your finger in and, draw yourself a little Shitler mustache. Then it transitions into...
I don't draw myself a Shitler mustache. I draw a Shitler mustache on them.
Where'd Pet go?
Oh,
on that note, our second commercial break, we will be right back with the Boston BJ. After these messages. And we're back. On to other news. The Boston BJ. It has been reported that there was a lovely couple in the Boston subway system that decided to blatantly perform oral sex while waiting for a train. The woman was crouched down against one of the poles, and the man was straddling her knees while apparently fucking her face. Now, the picture does not explicitly show that, but one concerned individual sent the picture to the police department, saying that Boston might be having financial problems, but they would much rather see their tax dollars going to the police force to prevent things like this. One quote from the article. Let's see. Transit Police Lieutenant Richard Sullivan told Metro that officials won't tolerate mid-station acts of fellatio.
I love how they're specific.
Yes. See, what I want to know about this is, so clearly the person who took the photo of this couple and reported it in, it was obviously butthurt because he saw some dude getting his dick sucked. What I want to know...
It does not report whether the reporting individual that took the picture and sent something was male or female.
I'm assuming it's a guy just getting butthurt because his dick wasn't getting sucked.
I could see it being a female being like, oh my god, I don't do that at home, so why should she do it in public?
Yeah.
Just because you're too much of a prude to suck cock doesn't mean she shouldn't be allowed to suck cock.
I'm going based purely off what the report said.
I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying
I'm going based purely off how the person worded their response to the police.
Okay.
If a woman had noticed it, and they were legitimately upset over it, I bet it would have been a little bit more bitchy.
But it says,
is that sexist of me?
I shouldn't have to stand next to a man receiving oral sex. It doesn't say stand next to another man receiving oral sex.
Well, but
that infers to me that it was a woman making this complaint.
Maybe it was. What I want to know is, if that dude was eating that chick out, would it have also been complained about?
Oh,
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if he was eating her butt?
Probably would have been complained about even more.
You think people get that butthurt about ass eating in public?
Yeah. I want to know why somebody didn't walk up to him and like just start rubbing themselves and be like, oh yeah, rub the balls.
Because we're not in Japan.
Rub the balls. I mean...
Or just like gone up, tapped him on the shoulder, like, is there a line for this?
Yeah.
Or...
Like, is this like a glory hole?
Can I be next?
Can I, I mean, why didn't... If somebody was so butthurt about it and like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing that. And, I have all these concerns. Why not just walk up to him and be like, hey, what's going on here?
Because you're an American and people are awkward about sex acts. Dude. Overt sex acts.
Well, other people.
Well, I would probably I'd probably stand around and be like, no, you gotta cup them better.
Yep.
You kind of gotta pull. You're like this.
You're kind of getting in the way. I can't quite see the taint.
Yeah.
Flick the tip. Flick the tip.
Push him to the side a little.
Don't
tug on those balls!
Stick a finger in his ass. I mean...
Critique the blowjob.
Yeah.
Note to all of our listeners, if you see a blowjob happening in public, don't bitch to your city officials. Walk up and start critiquing it. You will have better chances of getting them to stop than asking the police to do something about it.
And if you support them, just, I don't know, write your scores on cards, and then when they turn around, just hold them all up at once.
Oh, that'd be
great
good.
idea.
A whole row of judges.
That's a great
And
idea.
then one person going 5.8, 7.9, 7.9, 5.8. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not going to win this one.
You're not getting the medal.
And the dismount.
The Romanians have taken it. The Romanians have taken it.
But I guess
Fuck you, you're Canadian.
what's what made her decide? I guess
Well,
out of everywhere, like, hey, when the
who
subway,
said
this
it was
is-
her decision?
That is true. But I mean,
Yeah.
I guess obviously she had to be. you
What
know,
made who decide? The girl giving the blowjob or the person
Well, just-
complaining?
Well, everybody
in theory,
involved,
we kind of have to
like-
presume that being in America and being a couple, that it must have been at some point in time a joint decision, or at least jointly
Yes,
agreed to.
yes.
Like, hey, while we're here,
It also doesn't say time of day or anything
Mm-hmm.
else. All it says is Boston subway system.
Yep.
This could have been 3 a.m. after a night of heavy drinking,
Could've
and the
been.
guy's like, "Hey, honey,
I'm hard.
I'm hard,
I
that's-
want to get off before we get home, so I can go
I
straight
want
to
to get off
bed."
before we get
Yeah.
on.
I don't have to worry about this whole sex thing when we get home. I don't care if you enjoy anything.
Yep.
I'm getting off.
I don't know. I think that's awesome. I mean, as a huge voyeur, if I saw people, engaging in sex acts in public, that's awesome, sweet. That's more power to them.
So if you happen to be driving by the bus terminal and you see two people banging,
Go for it. So here's my concern: it's an open public place. It's not an area that is specific to adults being in. So if this was a bar, 21-year-old and older, and generally it's just going to be adults that are potentially exposed to this. My concern there, not so much. Am I going to, am I worried about someone's delicate sensibilities about seeing sex acts? Not really.
No.
Fuck people in the eyes. But what I am worried about is potential exposure to minors. So depending on when this occurs, that's obviously a concern. So if the ladies or gentlemen's or whoever it was that reported, he, she, it, whatever, that reported the issue was aware that there were, say, minors in the area and that there was a danger to, indecent exposure to someone under the age, then more power to you. I'm glad you reported it, and those people should get, fucked in the ass in prison. However, if, like you said, this is something happening at 3 a.m. and there's no one around except for this one other random stranger, and there's zero chance of someone being exposed that, shouldn't legally be exposed to something like that,
i.e. a minor.
Fuck it. Yeah, i.e. a minor, then fuck it.
what if it was under circumstances, say that, and the picture doesn't show this, but I'm throwing it out there as a contingency. The gentleman's wearing a long coat that can be opened up wide enough to completely cover the woman performing the oral sex. And she's, of course, up against a wall, so the coat can meet the wall, so no one can actually see what is going on. Is that still exposure to a minor?
I don't think that's exposure. However, it would be considered lewd, crude, and lascivious acts in many places.
In public.
Yeah, it's committing a sex act, an obvious sex act, even if it doesn't involve exposure, because it can technically be a second violation or second criminal offense. It's still under some statutes. Not every state has a lewd, crude, and lascivious act statute, but in many areas, the mere act of some sort of sex act in public can be considered an offense.
Well, then how can you even prove that there was a sex act going on if no one could see?
Well, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't just standing there stock still and not moving. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was probably...
I mean, if you're trying to be inconspicuous, you're going to stand there and go, honey, you're going to do all the work.
Yeah.
But I think even involuntary motions
And
are
there may
gonna
have been
happen.
some sound effects, too.
Possibly. Not to mention when he pulled out and got it all over her face. And
Yeah, kind of.
Well, that's the
Hopefully
thing,
she
is
swallowed.
Facial
swallowed.
pearl necklace.
the article doesn't even state whether or not he
he
finished.
finished. I know.
Right. That's
Which
the
is totally
sad part.
disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
If they have to spend some prison time or even a fine or anything, and he didn't even at least blow his load. Wow.
You never know, she might have been just priming the rod for later.
Also true. Maybe they were edging.
It does say that the couple, if identified, they face a charge of open and gross lewdness.
There you go.
Which carries a maximum sentence of 3 years and would require both of them on the sex offender
So
registry.
that's a felony charge. So that's probably a class D or E felony in that state.
Just for a blowjob in the subway when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Well,
'cause
someone was
Oh,
looking.
someone was
based
looking.
on this picture, I see the two people performing it, two people in the background, and obviously the one person taking the picture. but there is no one else standing there waiting for the subway.
Mm-hmm.
There's two people way in the background sitting on a bench, and this one person that is hiding behind the next pillar over to take this picture. So obviously they're trying to be fairly inconspicuous.
Yeah. So here's another thing to think about. What if the whole thing is just a setup? What if the people are exhibitionists? What if the person taking the photo is just a kinky voyeur that happens to like playing, risky games with the police, and oh no, we might get caught? What if it's just all a ruse?
If it's all a ruse and it makes the news like this, people should stop fucking with the cops. All right, we get it. We get in enough shit as it is for doing things that are borderline. I mean, I know personally that all it would take is one person reporting one of my public scenes as abuse, and the cops are going to be looking at me real hard, even though everything was consensual. I can prove that I didn't technically do anything that was not unwanted, but one stranger bitched about me doing something. Mm-hmm. As with any of us who are impact players, medical players, or any of the like that could be seen as abusive behavior.
A lot of states, you cannot consent to being hit.
Right. A lot of states, you can't consent to taking it in the ass.
I know. Which is a total shame.
I know. Sodomy should be legal everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, in a lot of states, it's not legal to have sex in most positions.
A lot of states, sucking dick is sodomy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, obviously not in Pennsylvania, because they're not getting charged with sodomy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyone who loves blowjobs, it's not sodomy in Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Just don't do it in a subway station.
Okay,
Right.
so tangent here.
Uh-oh.
You
Oh,
said
wait,
that
wait.
you-
Pennsylvania was the one with the vagina stuff.
Yeah,
This
the
was Boston.
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 So, little segue here. So you said that you like to be a voyeur. You like to watch other people.
Oh, yeah,
Does
totally.
it matter how the other people look? Like, are you more turned on to see, like, let's say, two attractive
Yes.
people? Or if, let's say, like, Toothless Joe and Crack Whore Susie are going at it, are you just as likely to be like, hey, look, they're having sex. Yeah, that's hot.
Am I a little amused that they're engaging in a sex act that I can see? Yes. Do I get as turned on as people, that are much more attractive to me? No.
What if it was one very attractive individual and an animal?
A very attractive individual. Is the animal attractive?
What would you
Yes.
consider an attractive animal?
Oh, I don't know. Which animal are we talking about?
I don't know. Horses are pretty
if it's
majestic.
like a sheep that's got nice curvy hips and soft downy fur. Yeah,
Wool.
yeah.
Look, he's getting excited right now. He's like, oh,
That
yeah, oh.
Yeah.
What if the sheep
Oh,
had
bah,
just been
baby,
washed,
bah.
washed and had good smelling
Oh,
hair?
if it was glistening and oh my god, yeah, if it smelled good. Oh,
A golden retriever that smelled like honey?
oh.
Named Honey.
Mm. Yeah, that helps.
And he enticed her with honey.
On my business.
Oh, no. Honey does not come off well, even with a dog's tongue.
Oh, but that's what
Peanut
I'm saying.
butter.
They would
It'll
be
make
there
him
for
try
a long
harder.
time.
Make
They'd
him
be
try
there for
harder.
a long time. You got to think about staying power here.
Yeah, have you ever felt dog tongue in your balls though?
No, I've never.
Yeah,
Nope.
like
She doesn't
sandpaper.
have balls.
Not nearly as bad as cat tongue though.
Oh,
I
that's
highly
gotta be rough.
recommend that no one out there,
Still
since
going with,
we said
wouldn't know.
don't reenact anything we talk about on this show. Whatever you do,
Don't run.
don't let your cat lick your balls unless you're into sandpaper CBT.
Yes. Oh, that would hurt.
Yeah, or just don't do it at all.
Or just
don't do it at all works.
Whatever.
Don't rub that salmon steak on your nutsack. The cat will not leave you alone.
You're liable to lose your nutsack if that's
Yes.
the case.
Arr, arr, arr.
Chew that
You ever
thing
seen those
off.
videos of guys sleeping in bed on YouTube and the cat creeps up and freaking claws him right in the testicles because he's on a spread eagle? Yeah. Mm.
This smells like fish.
Mm-hmm. And that's when the cat's just doing it to fuck with the guy. Just wait till his freaking taint smells like salmon.
Oof. Or chicken. I mean,
Or chicken.
whatever.
Smells like chicken.
Keep on licking.
Smells like meat.
Smells like meat.
Well,
Something
in
other
your
than
case,
meat.
smells like bacon. Yeah.
Bacon.
Bacon!
Bacon. Yep.
I'm not sure my cats like bacon.
Well, you would find out pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
I would.
And yet another experiment Ray
Yes.
is going to try next
Yes.
week.
I know my pet
For
likes
science.
bacon. That's all good.
For science. But I don't know if, like, the whole concept of, like, cold, greasy, just bacon grease. Like I would like it to
You
be
warm
like,
it up
warm.
first.
Yeah, I'd like it to be warm. At
I
least,
want it to be warm, just not pan hot.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I
oh,
live
God.
dangerously.
No,
I
yeah.
fry bacon naked, so I
Oh my god, the splashback. Aren't
I
you
know.
worried with like all the hair?
no, it's actually not that bad. I just make sure I do it before my shower.
Oh, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
I have also cooked naked bacon and other things.
Yeah.
You don't generally, unless you're dropping like huge rashers of bacon directly into the pan and splashing it all over the place. Usually, the amount of flying grease or backsplash you're gonna get.
When I make bacon, I make like 2 to 3 pounds at a time.
So you don't drop like all 2 to 3 pounds in the skillet.
Oh
Bam,
fuck no! A few slices and then pull them out, and a
There
few
you go,
slices and pull it out. Yeah.
You can also lay them out on sheet pans and just bake them that way. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
really trying to just bulk bake.
I have turned to baking bacon rather than actually frying bacon.
Yeah, but then you can't scorch your balls anymore with hot bacon grease.
Oh no, you still can.
Oh yeah.
Don't
You're not supposed to put your
underestimate
dick in
Raven.
the oven.
Yeah.
Raven's capabilities on this subject are beyond overestimation.
Yes. I have made it an art form, burning myself with bacon grease.
And yet you won't let me light your nuts on fire.
You already have more than once. I'm trying to avoid you doing
please,
it again.
I threatened you with fire. You danced away. Yeah, go ahead, sniff and turn, sniff and turn. But it has happened.
Back to fucking animals.
Back to fucking
Back to
animals.
fucking animals.
Our
fucking
PDA polled the audience of this week. It is going to be based on our topic of discussion of bestiality. If you were to fuck an animal, hypothetically,
Entirely hypothetically.
right, as is all of our simulated blowjobs and everything else, this is not real. If you were to fuck an animal, would you have the preference of fucking a sheep? Because they're soft and fluffy and you can stroke them. Fucking a pig, because their screams are so much similar to human screams. Fucking a cow, knowing that you'll get something out of it later because you can just milk it. Or fucking a small hand-sized rodent so you know that you're going to explode its insides when you go. Gerbil.
Wrapping
Well,
duct
you
tape
would
first.
think you would want like a guinea pig though. They're a little bit.
Well, for those of you out there who have really tiny cocks, gerbil. For those who have, something of more substance, i.e. a dick that's bigger than the Jew over here. Yeah, guinea pig.
No, dude, you always fuck a horse. That way you have a ride home.
I can ride home on sheep.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Well, but the thing is though, is sheep their wool isn't really always so soft. I mean, it can be kind of coarse.
It is if it's
Yeah, are you
freshly
talking about
washed.
pre or post sheared sheep?
Yes.
Oh.
Because that makes a difference too.
Pre-sheared sheep?
Pre-sheared sheep? So,
So
you'd
they're
have that
fucking-
extra fluff to hold on to.
Lot
The
more
other
cu-
thing too is
lot
you,
more
you would
cushions
just
for the
have
pushing.
you would just have to have Velcro on your hands and just Velcro yourself
Right.
to the.
Or Velcro on your balls.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
Or
can hook some
Velcro
Velcro
everywhere.
strips up to your jewelry down there.
There you go.
That could work.
Yeah.
That could
Then
work.
just slap the sheep in the ass and just let the bounce back
Mm-hmm.
do all the work.
Woo!
Yep.
Ride to
Seems pretty
glory.
easy.
So that's this week's polled audience.
The audience is substantially polled.
Woo! So back to fucking animals.
Yep, back to fucking animals.
Where do we want to take this from here?
I don't know. I have in about 5 minutes. I've got a date with a sheep.
Ah,
You gotta wrap this up.
You've
I
been
never
extra
wrap it up.
naughty.
Oh God.
Oh, speaking of knots.
Knots?
dog
Knots. Anyone who's heard anything about being fucked by a dog,
The dog nut.
the dog knot,
Yep.
where the penis engorges itself pre-ejaculation so it cannot be removed from the orifice.
Yep. Makes the dick look at T.
Yep.
Yep.
I've not had any experience with it. I'm happy
Liar.
to say that. No, I haven't.
I'm confused. What's going on here?
We're talking about the dog nut.
the dog knot. Do you not know about the dog knot?
No,
Tell
no.
us all about the dog
tell me
knot.
about it.
Okay, well.
Not the dog nut, the dog knot.
Knot.
Yes, knot.
Knot.
The dog
K-N-O-T.
knot. Yes.
The dog penis, when it penetrates, it's fairly erect and fairly cylindrical.
Yes.
But as it gets closer to orgasm, the base of it swells up, causing a stopper so it cannot be easily removed in order to guarantee ejaculation for procreation, of course, because
Yes, yes.
they're trying to make puppies.
Yes.
So that is called the dog knot.
Oh.
And in the bestiality sense, the individuals that like to get fucked by dogs.
Once you commit, you can't quit.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you're in it to win it.
Yep, you're in it until they're finished. That's for certain.
So I will say one thing: it doesn't necessarily have to swell or become dog knotty near the moment of climax. In many breeds and many dog types, it happens just after an erection is achieved.
You seem like
So the
you're
dog
very
tries to get it in
persuasion.
there as soon as possible before it knots itself.
Yep.
before it.
Well, have you ever seen a dog just casually walk up to another dog and you're like, "Hey, baby, I like your collar.
Yep. It's
How's
also
your fur look today?" It's more like, "I'm interested, jump."
Yep.
Yeah. Dogs are rapey.
It's
Yes.
most animals in the animal
Most,
kingdom
I was going to say
are
most
rapey.
animals are rapey.
It's because sex in the animal kingdom in many cases is purely for procreation and or dominance.
Hence why the females are usually bigger.
Yep.
So we can fight off the rapists.
And some of them, especially in the insect kingdom, specifically the praying mantis, have a tendency
Yeah.
to eat their lovers.
I like to eat my lovers too.
Yeah. Me too.
Not in the same way.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. You're German, but you're not that German.
Cannibalism.
No, I just don't like to eat
Later
my lovers.
topic.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, that does bring up a good point about cannibalism.
Yep. So we will talk about
Yes.
cannibalism at some point in the future.
Yeah.
For next week's conversation topic or next episode,
Well, next week we were going to do rainbow play.
good old rainbow play, or as we like to call it, the Cosby sweater.
Or the personal protein spill.
Yes. Yes.
Voluntary or involuntary, depending on your proclivities.
Roman showers.
Roman showers. Yep.
All the different diversions of rainbow play.
Yep. So we're going to leave you guys with that as next week's topic of conversation. For those of you who don't know what those are, well, we'll explain it next week. But if you're feeling adventurous,
You can GTS that stuff.
go hit the Googles and look that shit up.
Google that shit.
Google it good and hard. So anything else on the docket, or I think we're good?
Nope, that's it for this week.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, for
the Lord,
Sir,
and Daddy, we're signing off. See you when we see you.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your move.